I was scared of dentists in the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. I like my friend and turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Oh, when they come unstuck, lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left arm. I love you when you're singing that song, and I get a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'll like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads for New York City. This cowboy is running from himself, and she's been living on the higher shelf. Oh, when they come unstuck, lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left.
Well, hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to the happy hour. I'm Kristi. I kind of said that already. And my co-host is Kevin. Hey Kevin, how you doing tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, thanks for asking. I'm better than I was. I was kind of ill yesterday, but I'm better today.
I can't catch anything through the internet, can I?
I don't think so. Maybe a different kind of virus, but nothing that's going to hurt you physically, or medically, or emotionally.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, I am incredibly annoyed, but I'm not annoyed, angry, disgusted with the coronavirus, because I mean, I know lots of people are dying and stuff, and that's very sad. But the NBA season has been cancelled.
Oh, so yeah, that happened today.
Now Corona, now it's fucking personal. Okay,
now it's
you can fuck with the people, but you fuck with my basketball. I know you've now. I'm coming for you, right? I'm like Liam Neeson in Taken. I've got a specific set of skills, and I'm going to fuck you up.
What are those skills? I'm curious.
Crochet.
You got to crochet masks for everyone.
Yeah, 2 years of tap
made of hand sanitizer and wet naps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I can also do some mean finger puppetry.
Ah, well. And you were just saying you were doing butt stuff earlier. Is that tied in?
Naturally. How else do you practice but on yourself?
So before we came on air, I should catch everybody up with the conversation because we were muted at the time. I was talking to Kevin about a show he did. He did Let Them Eat Cack with Cognitive Society and Mike, as they do. But this time it was on Cog's channel, so you should go over if you didn't catch it because it wasn't on Kevin's channel. A little plug there. Not only his music, but also your show. So, and Cog's got a new interface over there that he's using. He's all very happy about it. He used it when we watched that Dave Rubin, Glenn Beck discussion of Brexit that turned into a discussion about China and Hong Kong. So anyway,
yeah.
And I was saying to Kevin, Cog was thinking maybe Kevin would want to use it. And you said you were doing too many new things. Didn't need more new things in your life. And I waited till we came on air to ask, okay, so what new things were you doing? And of course your answer was butt stuff, but
yeah.
And finger puppetry.
The serious answer though is that obviously I've got my history channel. My first video dropped today, fresh, spicy, delicious, like a nice curry, but not really. And it's available on that channel now if you want to go and check that out. History with Kev.
Kev.
I'm trying a new thing. It's a little bit terrifying because shouting at fascists is very natural to me. Trying to talk in informative and like vaguely polite ways, not so much.
Well, you're getting out of your comfort zone. That's good.
Exactly. I am getting out of my comfort. A lot of butt stuff.
And as I said, at least, it's kind of late in life, but, that's good. Cross that threshold.
It's kind of late to do history videos. What? I don't know.
All right. So we didn't really have any particular thing to talk about. We talked about talking about things. when we got on. But other than politics, the big thing that we kind of haven't talked, well, we talked about it a little bit, but it's becoming now a daily part of our lives, is Corona, and not the beer, sadly.
My Corona.
And I'm curious. I know, as I also said to you off air, thank you for the song. Always a musical. I'm glad we never get done for royalties. That you're doing originals.
Well, because my singing's so bad that it doesn't pick up on the algorithm.
No, it's so original. Because you do your version of it.
Exactly, yeah. Which is like listening to an idiot do it.
Someone with headphones on.
Yeah.
Listening to them sing along. Yeah, so as I was saying to you, my life hasn't changed. I still go into the office. We're not being told to telecommute. And I come home and I do my thing and I have food. And I was able to go out and buy toilet paper. Like, they still is here in the corner, like 5 minutes from my house. So, but I've noticed that the city is much quieter. I didn't realize how many tourists there were until they all pissed off. I guess this isn't getting monetized. They all fucked off. I was like, oh, I have like the whole city to myself. Not quite, but things are, and I'm trying to keep my life going. I still, buy lunch if I want to buy lunch, or buy coffee if I want to buy a coffee. I'm not participating in the economy, but I can see that businesses, retail all around me just must be gut punched over loss of work, and all of the people who work there as well.
Yes.
Anyway, so how about you?
Well, to the first point, we can't even buy toilet paper here anymore. It's gone, all of it.
Seriously, or are you pulling my leg?
Well, not literally all of it, but there've been huge runs on toilet paper for some reason. Well, that's the thing you desperately need in a crisis. As we found out, loads of blokes don't even wipe their fucking asses. So I don't know.
No, they don't wash their hands. They do wipe their ass. They think that's enough.
I suppose. Well, yeah.
It's replacing.
Well, that's the thing. If I wasn't going to wash my hands, I wouldn't wipe my ass.
You know what would be better?
I'd rather have a shitty ass crack than shitty hands.
If people would just have bidets installed, problem sorted.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, so basically, more people have been killed in.
You wouldn't have finger puppetry being the only thing shooting up your bone.
Yeah, exactly. I must have done that joke with you before. Which hand do you wipe your ass with, Kristi?
Which hand do you wipe your ass with, Kev?
No, I just say one of them. I'm not. It's not a serious piece of joke.
My right hand.
I use toilet paper, you dirty bitch. Oh, Jesus.
You said which hand,
the old,
right?
Classic old joke. Classic old bit of British humour. Bants. Anyway.
Have a banana.
Knees up, Mother Brown. That's a phrase that Americans are going to be confused by. I'm not explaining. Anyway, yes, so more people have been killed in like fucking toilet-related stampedes in shopping centres than actual coronavirus. That's a made-up statistic, but it might as well be true because we've had 4 or 5 deaths, which is not nice, but in a nation of 60 million people is
I thought you
nothing.
guys were. I think I have those numbers. We might come on them later, but or come to them later.
Well, you can come on them if you wish. I mean,
well, not if you don't ask.
I'm not going to kink
Don't
shame.
Be presumptuous.
It's weird. It's weird coming onto numbers of dead people. Even if it's
tweets.
Just numbers on a screen, it's weird.
Sorry. Yeah. I'll take that one back.
I mean, gallows humour is one thing, but gallows boner is a different thing.
All right, we're going to move on.
I was going to say, yeah, basically life hasn't changed all that much here, really. Basically, Britain and America have done a thing where we've gone, it's fine, fuck it. To the point where America, the ban on European travel to America, which isn't really a ban at all, because Donald Trump's a liar, Britain is exempt from. So nothing's changed here, really.
It's just a sort of vague anti-European trying to drive a wedge almost. Well,
it's foreign. It's a foreign disease. You need to be scared of immigrants, even the white ones.
Yeah, we don't even can talk for an hour on how Trump has messed up this entire thing just on that.
Can people just the annoying thing? Well, the most annoying thing is that when he's just riffing and he says something wrong, that could be a mistake. That could be a misspeak. when it's a pre-prepared, pre-recorded speech to the nation,
he's reading it out.
That's a lie. If you get something wrong there, that is a lie.
Yeah, I assumed that if I needed to fly back to the States right now, I wouldn't be allowed. And then I found out that apparently Americans don't transmit European versions of Corona or something, because we're allowed to come back. Exactly. And our family members and people with green cards, like permanent. So anyone they can't legally turn away.
Well, because the green card, it's got Corona absorbing diodes in it. And it just the Corona then can't infect the person with the green card. So they're safe.
Oh, is that it? It's like a Wonder Woman bracelet.
It works, yeah.
Tune. Just
exactly,
deflects it away.
Well, no, that's deflection rather than absorption. Literally the opposite, Kristi, please.
Well, kind of like it, though.
It's almost like you don't understand the science here, please.
Yeah, that really top-notch science of absorption.
Let me explain this science I just made up for you, please. Yeah, so, it's a joke.
Well, and he also said that there wasn't going to be any cargo coming in. And then they had to take that back as well. Like, no, actually, boxes are fine.
The following hours were spent between the State Department and Donald Trump's Twitter account, walking back virtually everything he'd said.
Yeah.
So why did he say it? Why bother?
Why write it down?
Yeah.
And who wrote it down?
Apparently Stephen Miller. Surprise, surprise. It's not like him to write xenophobic garbage that's just lies that can't be enforced. Oh, brilliant. Well done. The whole border wall thing. Fantastic idea.
Or the Muslim ban.
Or the Muslim ban, yes. Or basically anything they've tried to do because they're shit.
Yeah, can we contrast this a second? Because Maria Ludlow in the chat says, OMG, this is so stupid, might as well open border. And okay, Italy is on lockdown, but like it's not, they haven't stopped the trains in Europe. And if you look at how Merkel handled it, she went, okay, well, looking at what the doctors are saying, are they epidemiologists? Is that the right category of medicine here?
The sneeze doctors.
Sneeze doctors.
Yeah.
Probably 75% of y'all are going to get it. So we're just going to get prepared, and hopefully it will prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah, though, especially if you're not in one of those high-risk groups, and apologies if you are, but if you're not, you're probably going to get it and you won't ever know.
Yeah.
It's asymptomatic. So it's just going to happen and it'll go, and that's fine. Now, obviously, there are a lot of people who are in those high-risk categories, and that's a fucking shame. And there obviously are mitigations we can take to place. But unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to die. They already have, and that's horrific. And there's nothing I can say to mitigate that or to try and make you feel any better about that.
But the thing is, once you go from containment perspective, which is, keep away, to mitigation, which is, fuck it, it's probably going to happen. So how do I not spread it? How do I, okay, I'm probably going to get it, so I need to wash my hands to try to not get it or to make sure I don't spread it. Once you accept that it's going to happen, then you can actually change your behaviors to protect other people instead of worrying about keeping other people out to protect yourself. And you need a combination of kind of, containment and mitigation. But yeah, I think the Merkel perspective, and you know what, like life in Germany is going on. There's not people in panic. She was just truthful. And we see the news. We're not idiots. We hear what all the medical professionals are saying anyway.
Yeah, and they call it flattening the curve.
Oh, I have a tweet on that.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to briefly explain it as well.
Please do.
That basically, rather than having a sharp peak, which that goes above the line that your medical...
It's actually, Kevin, it's not flattening the curve. It's cattening the curve.
Oh, for God's sake.
So we have to look at
everything gets made into cats.
So this is great. No. I'm going to interrupt you for a second because then you can explain it. But Anne-Marie Darling says, lots of sciencey folks are posting this graph, but if there's one thing I have learned from being on the internet, it is this. Data and graphs, not compelling to many. Kitties, compelling to many. So I present cattening the curve. Okay, there you go.
Cattening the curve. Anyway, so what you do is you don't want a sharp... sort of claw-like peak. What you want is you want to catten the curve to take it below that dotted line, which is the theoretical line at which your healthcare system can cope. So rather than having that huge spike, what you do is you have containment and mitigation factors and regular testing available to every motherfucker, and you'll string it out for a longer period of time, but your healthcare system won't be overwhelmed at any given time, so the number of deaths will be vastly, vastly reduced. And that's what that the curve represents, or that graph represents, if you take away the weird cat shit on it.
No, I like the cat shit because it says they even add a little thing here. Alert kitty, outbreak will pounce and shred the healthcare system like the arm of your couch. Whereas the lazy kitty outbreak, long intervals between transmission events, like the amount of time kitty will hold this pose, healthcare systems can cope or hope to hold this position.
And that's partly why Italy has struggled so badly.
Yeah.
Is that it has a long underfunded healthcare system and has not coped well with this at all, to the point where they basically ignored the problem for a long time. And the numbers went through the roof, especially in places in northern Italy, to the point where they just can't contain it now. It's now, they've had, look, I think they've passed 1,000 deaths.
Yes,
Like,
I think that's right.
Yeah, that's horrific because their healthcare system just can't cope. There are too many people. The healthcare system, understandably, because it would be very, very expensive and prohibitive to do so, can't cope with all people all the time. It has like a set number of people it could deal with at any given time. So when everyone gets ill and fucking tens of millions of people are quarantined, it's not going to be able to cope with that shit.
Yeah, and then you need sort of like places where people can go that aren't emergency rooms or doctors' offices with waiting rooms to get tested. Because if they are positive, they're going to spread it around. So, they've got drive-through testing pickups in South Korea, I think.
Yeah, that was an excellent idea, yeah. And seems to have massively tackled the problem. The numbers are receding in China and South Korea because they went hardcore with it.
Yeah.
Which is really worrying because in Britain and America, they're not doing that. Anyway, we'll wait and see. You never know. Maybe the tiny bit of water between us and the continent will save us.
Yeah, that's it. It can't swim. Pretty sure viruses can't swim.
It can't swim, and people with it aren't allowed to travel. Oh no, they are allowed to travel. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
So but so many infectious diseases, the last thing you want to do is the very thing you want to do, which is like go to a hospital, because that's where all the sick people are. So if you have it, you're more likely to pass it on to people who are more susceptible to those diseases, and it's going to be more dangerous. And if you don't have it, you're more likely to catch it, because that's where the sick people are. So it's like a catch-22 of awfulness.
I also learned why, because I was kind of confused at the numbers that they were choosing, but I learned why they started capping meetings or gatherings of 200 people or 250 people or under 1,000 people. And I was wondering if you know the rationale behind that.
Because no.
Okay.
I was trying to think of a funny joke, but there's not one.
It has to do with the amount of space between individuals. So when you have high density, then you have a higher chance of contact and therefore transmission. But if you stand, a good foot away from somebody or whatever, then you're not as likely to have things pass. So it's a density issue, not a numbers issue.
Well, a perfect solution then. Those inflatable Zorba type things that they play football with, and they can run into each other and people bounce off.
Yeah, the ones that they try to move down the field, like when they drive.
No, the it's like an inflatable ball that you wear on the upper part, top half of your body, and you can run into it.
No, I was thinking of something they were running into, like football players. No,
no.
Okay, sorry.
So anyway, those things, have everyone wear those,
walking around in bubbles,
and then you can't be more than like 2 or 3 feet away from someone, and then you can have an unlimited number of people, because fuck it, you can't get that close to anyone.
But you can't fit an unlimited number of people in bubbles.
Well, not literally an unlimited, but you wouldn't have to put a physical limit on anything other than the amount of people you can get into that space with those restrictions.
Now, how is that different from wearing a plastic bin on your head? That was your country, wasn't it?
It's a lot funnier. It's a lot. You could get into more hijinks, I think.
Yeah, or you just go full bubble balls. Yes, like people put you on those on hills. You roll down them inside those bubble balls.
Zorb. Yeah, just Zorb everywhere.
Zorb balls. That's right, Tony. Thank you. Do you want to see how some other societies are changing as a consequence of people staying indoors and the ban on gatherings and travel?
Please do.
Apparently, what kind of sound is there with this? No idea. I'll just turn it off. Yeah, these are monkeys in Thailand. So it reads, hundreds of hungry monkeys swarm across Thai streets as rival gangs fight over food after tourists who normally feed them stay away because of coronavirus.
Oh, wow. Are we sure that isn't just children dressed up as monkeys?
They'd have those would be awesome monkey costumes if those were children.
Yeah.
Also, they're balanced.
Nailed it.
They're balanced.
But they have exceeded their limit of people. That is too high a density of children dressed as monkeys.
True. That is true. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about
what you need to put a Zorb ball around each of those children dressed as a monkey to solve that problem. We've been through this. Simple.
I'm sorry, I was just picturing that whole scene, but monkeys inside of plastic balls.
Yeah.
They're hungry monkeys. I feel bad for them, but that was kind of...
No, I feel bad for, but I don't know what you could do about it.
Also, I want to do a little shout out.
Probably going to die, some of them. It's not nice, but...
Yeah. Hank, I saw this in Hank, because in my feed, because Hank retweeted it, and I think he said something along the lines of, like, this is how the apocalypse starts, or something.
Yeah, are we sure this isn't a scene from the start of like the Planet of the Apes or some shit?
Yeah. Well,
out of desperation, they learn to use snub-nosed Uzis and shit, ride on horseback.
Haruka in the chat says, "Looks like a Trump rally to me." Bunch of monkeys showing their butts. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough on you guys. It's all right. It's not contagious. Right. I was gonna say too, when we were talking earlier about the mortality rate of this, that it is, if it's 1%, it's still 10 times more deadly than the flu. And obviously there's a lot of vulnerable people that now we know what the course of the virus is. I mean, this is the one advantage we have of living in modernity, is that we have all this medicine and these tests, and it is through, the initial case of, they're not finding, for instance, you're not hearing about a lot of kids dying. It tends to be, it really is skewing toward older people, or people who are older with underlying health issues. But that means that we can identify vulnerable populations and put more resources into protecting them. And it isn't blowing out every age group. This isn't like kids getting sick and parents getting sick and everybody showing up at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, I mean, if people are going to die...
don't go there, not when we're talking about corona. Maybe just hold on.
All I'm going to say is, if there was one guy who maybe deserved it a little bit, would be maybe the leader of a country who was a fascist piece of shit, who'd claimed that the crisis was a quote-unquote fantasy, but was revealed to have been infected with the disease in the last 24 hours.
Exposed.
That being a certain Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil. Yeah.
Exposed.
Possibly. No, he's infected.
Trump?
No, not Bolsonaro.
Oh, okay, I thought you were... All right.
No,
okay. All right, I thought you were heading toward Trump in this, because all of that stuff...
no. Well, no, he's been exposed, but we don't know that he's got anything. Anyway, okay. And again, it'd be funny because he'd just be in the hospital on his dying breath. He'll just say fake news. But no, if anyone does have to go, like if there's some sort of cosmic Russian roulette situation, where you get to choose which barrel it's in, JB would be at the top of the list. Is all I'm saying.
All right. Right, that's Kevin's point of view. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but there you go. Should we talk about?
Good, because you need to be more than 10 feet away from him.
Yeah.
Because he's got corona.
Because he's got coronavirus. Yeah.
But that's, if you call it a fantasy and then you get it, there's a certain kind of cosmic justice to that, isn't there?
Well, that is. We talked about the irony of CPAC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do call it the CPAC virus.
Also, where my anti-vaxxers at? Where my anti-vaxxers? Yeah. Been very quiet lately. Strange.
Should we watch one of the other signs of the coming apocalypse?
Yes, let's.
All right, this is from David Mack, who tweeted, "When historians write about the last hour, they will begin by noting the 2008 Republican vice presidential nominee was rapping on television, dressed as a bear. Then the network cut to Trump announcing coronavirus flight suspensions. Then Tom Hanks got it. And then the NBA was suspended." So there we go. So we got the sound on. This is going to be awful, by the way. I've watched a little bit of it. It's nightmarish. This is nightmare fuel, people.
Of course it is. It's fucking Mayor from Alaska raps. What were you expecting?
Oh, it's so bad. Oh,
volume,
it's so
Kristi.
bad. Oh, I gotta turn that off.
Kristi, there was no volume there.
Oh, I must not have shared with sound. Apologies. I will redo that, and I'm gonna have to live through that again. Oh no.
Well, we need to listen to the end to get to the thing where they cut to from directly from that
But
to.
that means I now have to watch it 3 times. Oh,
I don't care, Kristi. This is a piece of high art. Okay, you're going to enjoy this.
Share computer sound.
When I say high art, I mean it's the kind of art you should only ever watch when very high.
That is an apt description. I will accept that description. Oh, so I had to painfully endure 11 seconds of that, and I'm going to have to do it again. Oh, they heard it. Okay, America has no talent. You didn't hear it, Kevin. So now but that's okay. We'll do it. You can hear it too. Everyone ready?
Maybe I'm selectively deaf. Maybe my brain just went, Kev, you don't want to hear this again.
Cringe,
I'm just
everybody.
Shut this off.
Cringe in anticipation. Here we go. Oh, I have to hit the play button. What? No, it's not going. What is happening? Techno fear. What's going on? Play. I don't. Is she just like a bear? Is that what? That just those. Yeah, it looks like that's awful. Like I was so taken back with how bad the rap was. I was distracted from how bad her outfit was. That was just.
What I'm going to say is she's a fundamentalist Christian. But if you want a triple X throat down, call 1-800-MIX-A-LOT.
This is coverage of President Donald Trump's primetime address to the nation on the coronavirus.
There you go.
Jeez.
Oh, I see there's some young entrepreneurs in Leeds.
Yeah, this cheeky fucker. He was selling.
Oh wait, stop, Sarah, stop, Sarah, no, mute.
And I wouldn't mind, but Beans and Rice did miss her. Fucking dick. Anyway, yes, this young chap was sent home from school. He was selling squirts of hand sanitizer for 50p each, which is a bit much. It's like £2 a bowl, and he was making 100-fold profit or whatever.
Well,
and you're not supposed to be selling shit in school, you little dick.
But did you read the last line of the story?
No.
All right,
please.
close your eyes, because I want you to not anticipate this.
Okay.
Okay, eyes closed?
Yeah.
A teenager was sent home from school after being caught selling shots of hand sanitizer to his fellow pupils.
The word shots makes it sound like they're injecting, which is weird.
Right. At 50p a go, his mother, Jenny Tompkins from Leeds, posted a picture of him arriving home earlier after his entrepreneurial exploits at Dixon. They can't believe they're putting this kid's parents' name. Dixon Unity Academy. In a post on Facebook, she said it was hard to discipline her son when his quote dad called to say he was a legend unquote. Okay, that's not bad. Wait. This is the killer. He plans to use the 9 quid he made to buy kebab. She added.
Yeah, they're from Leeds. Yeah, that checks out. His dad called and said you're a legend. Yeah, fair enough.
So there you go. Oh, here's something.
Pretty legendary.
Yeah, a puppy is learning how to jump over an obstacle.
Well, it's certainly learned how not to.
Yeah, he ruled that out. That one didn't work. Definitely didn't. But we need a bit of a puppy stuff going on just to kind of reset emotionally.
It's a cute puppy and shit human. Bit.
All right, that's just okay. I'll turn that off. I don't want that eating up my bandwidth. And this is a story you mentioned. Bolisaro's press minister Fabio, whose last name I'm not even going to attempt, Wagengarten, who was just with Trump over the weekend at Mar-a-Lago.
There's no vowel between the J and the N. How the fuck do you pronounce that?
Wagengarten?
Brazil.
Wagengarten? Yes, I think. So yeah, he was at Mar-a-Lago. He wasn't just like with Trump. He was at the whole Mar-a-Lago. So now Mar-a-Lago is going to have to go on lockdown.
Oh no, that would be terrible. All I'm going to say is, again, Trump's in that high-risk band. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. What? Oh, man.
I won't go any further, but I think you know where I want to go with that sentence.
Yeah. I don't want the FBI calling me. All right.
Well, technically, it wouldn't be you.
Well, it's on my channel, so I'm broadcasting it. They might.
I don't want your channel to be taken down.
Fabio Dave.
Fabio Dave. Yeah.
You can tell Orion's a long-time watcher, a long-time viewer.
Yeah, exactly. That is a retro cut.
They're actually doing Kevin's jokes for him.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite names I've ever heard, and it's so. There's a sports commentator called Jason Mohammed. Literal name. You think that's a really Western name, and then Mohammed as a surname.
Oh,
nice.
Benjamin Esser in the chat, I think I did that right, said it's actually like German Weingarten. So like wine.
Weingarten!
Yes. And also I wanted to shout out to Mariana. I saw her in the chat earlier before the show started. She put tits in the chat. So thanks for that.
Oh, well, thank you for putting your tits in the chat. Good. So.
Right. This is the story. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know how many New York Times articles I still have this month, but we can check it out if you want.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Save it. I
Okay.
don't care that much. Save your article.
She's being sensible. Too long didn't read.
No, she's being sensible, like, a leader should. Boris, Donald, saying.
Okay. Yes, we wish we had more sensible people running governments. All right. How to wash your hands, presidential edition. This from Real Fake POTUS. 1. Deny at least 20 seconds. 2. Blame foreigners who get under your fingernails. 3. Lie up to your wrists. I'd say elbows, but 4. Do not touch your face after sticking your head up Putin's ass.
Fair.
Oh, and of course, this is a big issue in the States that no Europeans are really having to deal with. Mandated paid sick leave. That doesn't mean that those other states don't necessarily have some forms of sick leave, I think, because I had sick leave in Wisconsin. But these are the ones that mandate it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's anywhere that doesn't mandate it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the states' rights and all of that. But basically, and this is the whole point with the horrific medical system in America in general, is that it doesn't matter how great your life decisions are and how lucky you are going to get sick. That is an unavoidable fact of life. So why punish people for that? Why not have a system in place that cares for all of the people of the country you claim to care about? Seems pretty straightforward to me, but for some reason, millions of Americans disagree. Okay.
And the Democrats, I think, added language that would make requiring paid sick leave not just like till the end of the year, but just a thing. And the Republicans stopped it.
Yeah, of course.
Because they don't want to sneak in sick pay outside of a pandemic. That's apparently not cost effective, even though every other country in the world basically does it.
Yep.
Somehow Americans can't. Like, American companies can't compete that way. I guess they're weak.
Well, it's white people for you.
So, did you see this?
Oh, Leo, what's he up to?
So, Trump is with the Prime Minister of Ireland?
Well, I'd say Taoiseach, but okay.
Okay, well, it says Irish Prime Minister in the headline.
His official title is Taoiseach. Come on now.
Okay, all right. I can't pronounce that.
It's effectively the same as Prime Minister, but come on now. Bit of sensitivity.
Okay, so he sat there
Otherwise, I'm going to start calling people Presidente.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so let me, let me hit play here.
The President has excluded Ireland from the travel ban. And one of the things we have in Ireland is CBP, American Border Security in Ireland. Went through it myself yesterday, and they were asking the right questions, whether people had been to China, things like that. So that puts us in a slightly different position.
And one of the reasons UK basically has been, it's got the border, it's got very strong borders,
Did you hear what he said?
What?
They're talking about Ireland.
Yeah.
Listen to what Trump says.
Yeah, the UK's got strong borders, yeah. Ridiculous. Not just that, but one of those men is a man of colour and one isn't. Can you guess which one?
Is it the one that's painted orange?
No, he's the white guy, but he has darker skin significantly than the man of Hindu origin.
I would say he is oranger skin.
He was what, sorry?
Oranger.
Significantly, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily darker. Definitely
It's
oranger.
a lot darker. Look at the shade difference. That's darker skin.
Well, are you looking at his
oranged
pink?
up.
Is his baby butt pink?
Well, the majority. If you
His
average
hands.
out all of the tones to one tone, to an average tone, the white guy in that picture has significantly darker skin than the not white guy.
Okay. Yeah, if you took a black and white
Which
photo.
is ludicrous,
Yeah.
Donald. You look like a fucking clown.
I thought this was funny.
Biden. Biden. Oh, Biden. Oh, okay.
That's
But
good.
that just sort of looks like they're also taking the piss out of Biden.
Well, no, it's like you're saying Biden while you're saying Biden.
Yeah. I
Biden
know,
2020.
okay.
Biden 2020. It works. I thought it was funny.
I'm not sold. But okay.
Yeah, you like
I
puns.
get the joke, but I'm not
you
sold.
like puns even.
I do like puns, but that one's
All right.
counterintuitive.
Anyway,
No,
you're
I
going to
don't
want to
know.
talk about this.
Yeah, why are the deep state forcing Alex Jones to get drunk and drive? It's outrageous. Leave the man alone.
They're so mean to him.
Yeah. Anyway, so this idiot got drunk and decided to drive because he's an irresponsible gobshite. Again, if there was someone who was going to have a severe accident,
It's just irresponsible. He's more likely to kill someone else because it's never the people who are, it is sometimes people who are drunk. But yeah.
But clearly this is a plot to smear his good name.
Yes, they forced the alcohol down his throat and then they forced him to get behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Also, it looks slightly like someone's taken in a kind of a hand pump and inflated Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I like how here this Not Your Grandmother's Book Club writes, well, now I want an Andy Warhol style print of this mugshot from my living room.
Yeah, I would buy that. Take my money.
And then we're back to March 10th, which is like I think election stuff. So I think it's going to be
Okay. Well, I suppose we can talk about the last couple of days with the election, if you wish.
Well, I talked about it for an hour, so I think it's if you have stuff to say, it's the frog. The frogs did it.
Yeah, but you didn't talk about it on this show, Kristi.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The whole 3 people I bring to the party would like to hear your opinion.
Well, I mean, it's over, isn't it? I mean, what we saw in the demos, and I went over this in greater detail in the show I had. I'm just going to take a drink here. Hold on.
Which, I mean, Kristi, I watched your stream earlier, which is good, isn't it? When friends watch the other friends' content.
Like I watched you guys on Keck the other night.
That's COG content, isn't it?
Yeah, but did you watch me when I was on COG's channel? I had to go out of my way to find it.
Well, no, because I watch friends individually when they're together. No.
So anyway, you were saying about your channel.
Was I?
Oh, okay.
I was saying, what did you have to say?
Okay. You came to watch my thing. Yeah. Well, if you just look at the demographic, it's what I would interpret this as a larger thing is that people who identify as Democrats, people who are going to the polls, 2/3 of them are saying Donald Trump is the bigger threat. It's the immediate threat. And we're choosing a candidate that we think is electable, even if he's not our ideal candidate, because this is the person that we think can go up against Trump. And the people who are saying that are black voters are coming out for Biden nationwide. He's got turnout out. When turnout is up, Biden does well. He's getting suburban women. He's getting rural whites. And those three, sorry, I can count, those 3 together, that's the Obama coalition.
Are you a professional stats person?
I can't actually, like, I really don't like doing math in public, but anyway. So yeah, with those three voting groups, I mean, that rural whites, if Biden can win with rural whites in Michigan and Pennsylvania and Ohio, oh my gosh, and then he's also going to do well in Virginia and maybe North Carolina.
Where there are only rural whites.
And you combine that with his black voter support, then then Trump, that is why Trump went out of his way and got impeached trying to smear Joe Biden, because if he does that well with rural whites, that's Trump's bread and butter. And so with that, the Democratic Party base is divided as, or not divided as it is, but there's definitely different elements of it. The majority are speaking every time that they get a chance to. So,
yeah, that's ultimately the thing, isn't it? That Bernie's voters didn't turn up.
Yeah, what we found is
that the youth quake, as always, didn't happen. Young people don't go to the polls.
I can't believe it took me this long to ask this question, but did Bernie Sanders have a big new voter registration thing that he was out there pushing? Because I don't remember his campaign. And to be fair, I wasn't really paying attention, so people who follow it more. But were they saying, hey, we've registered an extra 15,000 people in this county and an extra 5,000 new voters in this city? I don't remember them doing that.
I mean, again, yeah, like, if someone else in America who's more on the groundsy can correct it, but I didn't see any of that, to be honest. No.
But if you're going to base your whole campaign on new voters, shouldn't you be registered? I mean,
you would think, yeah.
He raised a lot of money. He could have done it.
But it ultimately, his numbers didn't turn out for him, and he lost big across the board, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, some of the states were like, I can't remember which state it was, Mississippi or some shit, and it was 82% Biden.
You know what? In Mississippi,
that's not only is that not competitive, that's so far beyond not competitive that you're done.
Can I pour salt in that wound? Do you know what his final number was in Mississippi?
7.
14.8.
Ooh,
he didn't even make viability.
Bad. That's really bad. In a technically 3, I suppose, but 2-horse race. Yeah, that's grim. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame. I would have liked to have seen, either a genuinely competitive race or whoever was behind to drop out at this stage. But I kind of get what we were talking about this, weren't we? When we very briefly, I suppose, when Bernie was making his speech thing yesterday. I thought he was going. Was it yesterday or the day before? Whenever he was, he started off, and what made me think initially that he was going to concede and drop out. Was he literally started off with, we're hearing all around the country, we agree with your policies, but then they vote for Joe Biden, which is instantly the thing you say before you then go, which is why I'm dropping out. No campaign goes, that other guy, he's way more popular. What campaign ever? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. A winning campaign doesn't say that.
Yeah, that's nonsense. But I think what he's trying to do, and you saw it by the fact that he said he's going to turn up to is it on Sunday or whatever, they've got a debate happening, and he's going to ask Joe Biden a certain set of questions about like Medicare for all and all that sort of stuff. And essentially what he's doing is he's trying to drag Joe Biden further to the left, which ultimately I think is...
It's the only power he has left.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think it's sort of sensibleness in a way and opposite, really, that because in when we come to write the book on what Bernie Sanders is and was to the American political situation, what he will be remembered for, and I think it's not an insubstantial thing, actually, that he has definitely moved American discussion to the left. There are things like Medicare for all, which weren't on the agenda before, which are now very firmly there and are rather popular, certainly amongst Democratic voters.
As a public
and that's
option.
a good thing. Pardon?
As an option is way more popular than as the only option.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the exact details of his particular plan. But the fact that even the talk of Medicare for all wasn't on the agenda, it now very much is. Whether it'll ever happen, who knows? Because I mean, things like sensible gun regulation are very popular. They don't fucking happen. So whether it'll ever happen, who knows? But the fact that he's dragged that conversation in that direction and forced a more progressive agenda there, sets up someone like, I mean, AOC is the obvious choice right now, but who knows, she might drop out of politics completely within the next couple of years, who knows. At some point in the future, some progressive candidate can come forward and take up that mantle, because that work has been done, that groundwork has been laid, and that I think is an enormously positive thing that we should remember Bernie Sanders for. But ultimately, that is what he will be remembered for, because now, even though it always seemed likely he never would, now for definite he will never be president of the United States.
Yeah. HK in the chat, I'm just going to let that sit there because I'm not going to jump on that, said, why is it a given that the young don't vote? And just as a general thing, that's not an American phenomenon. Where you have democracies, you generally see, at least Western democracies, you see lower turnout rates among the young. And
yeah.
So in the United States, I heard the statistic, so I will repeat it because I think it's important in the context of Bernie and his reliance on new voters and traditional non-voters. The only time in U.S. elections that youth turnout, just as in terms of their percentage, their cohort, turned out at 50%, was when the amendment, the 25th Amendment, 26th Amendment, whatever one it was, the 26th Amendment, I think it was, that lowered the age of voting to 18. And that next election, you saw 18 to 24-year-olds turn out at 50% because 18, 19, and 20-year-olds all went and voted. And then they never did again. They never got close to 50% again until they hit 48% turnout with Barack Obama. And what did Barack Obama do? Barack Obama was a grassroots organizer, and he got people knocking on doors and talking to people and registering them to vote and turning them out. And all the people who spent time on Twitter spreading around shit and talking to people should have been out there registering voters.
No, but I was about to say, allied to that was the fact that he did actually, or his team, I presume he didn't do shit online because most politicians don't, outside of maybe Trump, I suppose. But on social media, they harnessed, to some extent, social media, and was one of the first campaigns to do that. And that does reach a younger demographic, which almost certainly helped.
Yeah,
but that on its own doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah.
No. It's people and connections and doing that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just want to say, Chris.
But yeah, that's so. But I think there are a number of factors at play with why younger people don't vote. Firstly, younger people are irresponsible by comparison to elder peers.
To their grandparents. They just are. Like, it's just, you're young.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly. When your grandparents were young, they were irresponsible compared to their grandparents.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it goes. You're a younger person, you're a
bit of an airhead
with it.
Young, dumb, and full of...
Exactly. You think you know the world, and you fucking don't. And that's fine. I sound like an old man now, whatever. So there's that. And then allied to that, when you get older, you have kids. And so you realise, actually, the future is really important. And you want like good education and things like that, and you've got a mortgage, or you've got rent to pay, or healthcare bills in America, or whatever, right?
Yeah, and people start aiming programs at you more.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a lot more responsibility, and you've got a lot more invested in the society you live in. So all of a sudden, changing those things for the better, or keeping the things in place that you want to be kept in place, suddenly become enormously important in a way they weren't when you were 20. Yeah, because you were just, drinking and fucking at 20 or whatever,
Which you wish you could be doing, but instead you're voting. And then when you're elderly,
so you're on old, state pension. You're drinking a lot, but it's more lonely.
Yeah. And then as you get older, you're more reliant on the healthcare system. You're more reliant on things like Social Security or your state pension. And then if they start to mess with your pension, you better believe you're going to go out and vote.
And not just that, but once you start voting, you get into that habit.
Yeah.
It becomes like you're far more likely to continue to vote. Mm-hmm. So once you start voting, maybe in your 30s, it becomes like a thing. Like we're the freaks in the sense that we were political a lot younger than most people are.
Yeah, people like who are political junkies are just weird. They're like sports junkies or whatever, anyone else who's fanatic.
And I'm both.
Yes.
So,
by the way, Fake Queen Corey in the chat said Sanders sort of did, but also not really. He had registration as part of his Latinx outreach, but literally just for them. Yeah, expand that across the country.
Possible reason for Cali? What am I looking at?
California. Why he did so well in California.
Yeah.
Because he actually focused on registering people to vote. Do that more, but all over.
Yeah, you have to do it all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's what bears in mind. the vote's still close enough where if something catastrophic happened for Biden, look, it's not impossible; it could be overcome. But you've got to bear in mind how bad that situation would be if he didn't have that buffer of those Californian delegates.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Because
if
he's been basically wiped out in huge parts of the country,
Texas,
where he did really well. He lost
the
in
South.
Washington. He beat Clinton in Washington last time and lost this time, even though Biden spent nothing.
Yeah, it was a caucus last time, and it's flipped to a primary. So that also
Well,
Biden does better in primaries.
Change.
Yeah, well, Minnesota's the same. He had a caucus there and won it, and then it turned into a primary, and it broadened out the electorate, and he lost.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So as I put out on
Damn
Twitter,
you, war cops.
as I mentioned on Twitter, like if he can't beat Biden, he won't beat Trump.
Yeah, that's a fair chance.
So
not just that, but the problem I always had, and I desperately wanted him to become the nominee and president. But the problem I always had was when he's running in the primaries, he's speaking largely to a Democratic, more left-leaning, more liberal group. Mm-hmm. And so the media take that into account. And Trump takes that into account, and everyone does, because that's just the way it is. It's a primary, right? But once you get onto the national stage, you're all of a sudden, you're not just fighting for the candidacy of a political party. You're saying, I want to take billions of dollars, trillions, in fact, in taxation from you and do stuff with it. That's a lot different. And so when you then get he's a terrible sneaky Jew coming as well, which the Trump campaign would be pumping out, although the Jewish bit more surreptitiously through, what do they call them? Associates, not associates. People affiliated with the campaign. Come on, Kristi. What's the word? Surrogates. There we go. Affiliate, surrogate. It's close enough. Anyway, those attacks would land a lot more with the electorate and pumped up by the media, because the media love Donald Trump's theatrics, and they're going to make the same mistake this time that they did 4 years ago. So at least with someone as boring as Biden, that might mitigate some of that, I suppose. Yeah.
Blue Jay in the chat is saying that the DSA was organizing registration, and they're explicitly for Bernie. But I'm talking about Bernie's campaign.
I'm not talking DSA are a separate group. Yeah,
I'm talking about like Bernie putting
well
out.
Well done to the DSA for doing that. That's a wonderful, community-spirited, politically worthwhile endeavor. But that's not Bernie Sanders doing that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I like Bernie. I wish he'd won, but don't give him credit for shit he didn't do. That's nonsense. Yeah. No offense to the person said that, but it's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of they're two different groups, and it seems to me like that would have been a feature of his campaign. Like they would be registering people or handing out information on how to register people at his campaign and touting how many new, because his whole thing was he was supposed to expand the electorate. But when people were asking him after the first Super Tuesday, like, where are the people that were going to come out? And he's like, they'll come out in November. Like, really? You can't be bothered to come out now? Just that, but
they didn't. I mean, that's not how it works, is it? You can't say they'll come out in November because you're not going to be there in November, clearly.
And the whole thing about voting is a habit, as you pointed out. So if they didn't turn out for you in the spring, why would you assume they'd turn out like, oh yeah, I really support him, but something came up. So yeah, I think the active registration.
Well, that's the shame. The left needs to get away from just focusing on younger people. Not saying ignore them, but consistently now we've tried. The youth are going to rise up and do X, Y, and Z, and every fucking time it falls on its face. Mm-hmm. Name me a leftist candidate that focused on the young and won.
Crickets. Maybe there's someone somewhere because the demographics were maybe a younger voting
possibly
bloc,
yeah.
In terms of
there may be one of the Scandinavian countries that did a thing once, maybe, but they're a delightful change from the norm. Let's say.
I went through. I'm old, but I was active at university when I was president of the student government. We had an election, and I ended up organizing a lot of
fucking nerd. You absolute nerd.
We had a whole get out the vote rally in the student union, and we couldn't give anyone rewards for voting because that's an
How many wet willies did you get that night?
None. But what we did instead was we got an agreement from the university.
Did you get pants at any point or a
Not that I
swirly?
remember. No.
Because geeks like you deserve punishment.
We'd organized with the catering that any student who presented themselves with their ticket saying that they'd voted, they'd get a free Pepsi. So it was a sticker, not the vote. If you stole the whole thing of stickers, you'd still get them. So that covered us legally. But I knew that youth turnout was a problem. And I knew that we, as a cohort, had a really bad reputation for turnout. And so I spent a lot of time and effort and elevating, MTV's Rock the Vote. And it goes back decades now. And so, yeah, great for those people who are young who are getting involved. But it's a heavy lift. And the other thing, too, is I had the advantage of being at a university. Right, that's privilege because you got a whole bunch of people there. They make it easy for you. We voted on campus. We had 2 different voting wards on campus, so they split. They didn't shove all the students into like one ward and make us all wait in line. Where was I going with this? So yeah, it's good to get involved, but a lot of people don't live on campus. A lot of people don't go to university, and those people don't have the amount of structural things pushing them to get out to vote. They're much harder to reach.
Yeah, there's a thing called social capital as opposed to economic capital, which people who are more well off generally tend to have, people who are middle class. And one of those things is things like feeling politically and civically engaged in a way that those at the bottom rung don't. And that involves higher, if you look at the numbers, the richer you are, the more likely you are to vote. Until you get maybe to billionaires or some shit, but generally speaking, the more affluent you are, the more likely you are to vote.
Yeah. So that's about the youth vote.
So basically, yeah, it's going to be Biden versus Trump.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have.
Because to make a change for America, you can have 2 old white guys going for president. That's.
Yeah. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it was black voters and women voters and white rural people.
No, I know. I'm just being historically facetious.
Yeah. And I do think that there is a power of having run before. There's a power of incumbency that Biden had and Sanders had. So both of them had the advantage. Sanders from 2016 had the advantage of having a national network. He had an active base that were very recent and remembered him.
Well,
they
that's
were
why it's
giving
so
him money.
Odd and disappointing that the numbers are so bad.
Yeah.
Because he did have that networking play. And in 2016, he seemed to have a good ground game, but it's just evaporated.
Well, a lot of that we now are finding out was actually not pro-Bernie, it was anti-Hillary. Yeah. And when presented with a moderate alternative, they went with Biden, who, because he had his magic wand.
Yeah, so we're going to have to... I'm sorry, America, you're going to have to vote for Joe fucking Biden. Ugh.
Yeah, still a step up from Trump.
Absolutely.
Yellow dog Democrat here. I'd vote for a yellow dog. I'd vote for this dog before I'd vote for Trump.
But it's grim because he's a fucking...
He's got at least he's responsive to human interaction.
We're still talking about Joe Biden.
The little puppy. I said we were all out of stuff because we were now going to talk about the election.
Okay, so go and nitpick my historical video.
Oh, are you ending the show? Are you already doing your plugs?
Oh, I thought we were finished.
Yeah, well, unless you have anything else you want to talk about. Anything I missed?
Penis.
There you go.
No, I think we're basically done. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Okay, good. Well, it was a good chat anyway, and we did almost an hour. We're 50. Well, actually, no, we started the show before the top of the hour, so we're not quite to an hour, and we did say it as a happy hour.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, I was going to say about my.
You're really quiet. You need to lean closer to your mic.
The new thing. I had such a fucking problem getting this video actually mixed down. God, it was annoying. I had to do it as a high resolution AVI and then go through the fucking compression process, which took 3 fucking hours to get it to a file size I could upload to YouTube. It was ridiculous.
Why did you have to do it as an AVI?
I don't know. It just wouldn't do it on the normal fucking MP4 thing.
That's weird.
It kept cutting out after 5 minutes. It was so annoying.
Well, next time you could maybe go from AVI to an MP4 online converter.
Possibly, but who cares? It worked.
Well, hopefully you won't have to do it every single time.
No, hopefully it was just a maybe I put in. It was going about codex something or other, so maybe one of the videos was a bit fucky. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Wow, this is
But
really
either way, it
fascinating for the
worked.
chat.
Yeah, I was just because it was so
Yeah.
annoying. It took me 2 days to work all that shit out. I'm not good at this. I don't internet.
Well, maybe you need a different editing software.
Maybe you need to go eat a dick.
Can I tell you, I saw a guy on Twitter who said, if I actually went out and ate a dick every time a mega or burner told me to, there would be a catastrophic dick shortage in the world.
Exactly. There would be a lot. There would be a paucity of penis.
That just made me laugh. I actually had to write back, your sarcasm brightens my life.
So, would that count as a penis genocide?
I think it would. Eating all the dicks.
Yeah.
So, don't eat endangered dicks.
Don't. Exactly. There's a dick breeding program now.
Yeah. Oh, it's well, anyway, okay. I'll tell you off air.
Also, a de facto vote for T. What's a de facto vote for T? Trump. I wouldn't vote for either. Obvious that Biden doesn't have the Obama coalition. He has the Clinton-Kerry Gore coalition. Oh, wow, you're going back there. That was 20 fucking years ago. Oh, my God, as if that election was 20 years ago.
That was like the 20th century.
Fuck.
I don't even know what the demographics were. I mean, how was a Clinton coalition different from the Obama coalition? If you're saying like, because he's got.
No, I think he
black
means.
voters.
No, I think he means Hillary Clinton.
Or they, Ali, I don't know, unless you know them. But Hillary Clinton, Kerry Gore.
Yeah.
The
So
things,
we're going back to 2000. 2000.
America's changed a lot since Gore. Can I just say, like demographically? So that coalition, even if it has the same demographics, they have a different. The Republicans, used to really count on suburban women, especially, and 2018 showed that those people will turn out, and they'll turn out in purple states. You've got like Democrats elected in places like Tennessee, and really moderate, shall we say? And Biden's going to do better there.
I'm not sure Tennessee exists.
Well, Idaho didn't exist this afternoon.
Yeah.
The NBC map just left Idaho off. That was hilarious.
Well, they should. They should just randomly leave off states.
See if anyone notices.
If they didn't put those little boxes at the side with Alaska and Hawaii, would anyone care? Even in Alaska and Hawaii, would they care?
Would they notice? Like they just see themselves implicitly. They just put themselves in the corner anyway. Nobody puts Hawaii in the corner.
Yeah. Walkers just be like, yeah, I'm glad Hawaii isn't there. Oh, fuck. What do you mean I have to apologise again?
And on that bombshell, we've gone.
First choice was Tulsi Gabbard. Fuck's sake.
Why is Tulsi Gabbard a thing? She should just go.
I don't know. She's still running, isn't she?
Yeah, because she's got 2 delegates.
She got 2.
And she's got lots of Fox appearances.
We've got nearly as many between us, me and you, Kristi.
Yeah, but we don't have any Fox News appearances.
I reckon if we sign up now, we can fucking beat her.
Maybe. They might vote for us out in Pennsylvania. We have
you've got Wisconsin coming up.
Yeah, hometown pride, home state pride. I'm sure we can get more votes in Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
She gets more than Carl, so.
She's garbage. Anyway, yeah. I've got nothing else to say.
All right. Well, we've gone over. It's 2 minutes over, so we've crossed our legal threshold of having an hour of happy. Although this was not. Even when I tried to make a joke, you made it into a gallows boner joke.
Did I? What?
Were you there for the first part of the show?
Physically, yes.
And you blame me when I wander off from time to time.
What
sport you got on in the background?
I don't have anything on tonight.
What?
I know. Crazy talk. I'm just sat here in.
You might be reduced to watching like video of old sporting events that you missed the first time around.
Yeah, the NHL's stopped. I'm just, oh God, is life worth living? Really? Ugh.
I guess the next thing up now. So we're in the middle of the sort of coronavirus pandemic tsunami as it spreads globally, and in its wake, it's leaving a lot of economic slowdown. So I guess the thing we need to watch going forward is how quickly does China recover.
No,
Chicken
fuck that. I want my hoops. God damn it.
Hoops. I haven't had hoops in ever so long.
Look.
Oh, I can't believe you just mentioned hoops.
Motherfucker, I need my regular trips to Jam City, okay?
You want to describe hoops for the non-Brits in the audience?
It's about basketball.
Oh, I thought you meant the crisps.
No, what are you talking about? If I wanted hoops, I could go and get hoops. They're at the fucking shop.
I actually know. That's what I thought you were saying, that you couldn't get hoops and that you can't get the crisps. So, not for basketball. Can you explain to non-Americans?
Oh, hoops are, oh God, they're little corn, I don't even know. They're like the shape of a ring, but chunky.
Yeah.
And you can get them in different flavors. They're very nice. But that literally was not at all what I was referring to.
I guess, okay. Let me explain it to Americans. I think are Frito-Lays the sort of crunchy, weird, almost like pasta-y shaped thing? It's sort of that density, but wrapped around, like if you could wrap around your finger, a little bit, or your pinky, because they're actually pretty small. And then they stick a bunch of flavored powder on them, and they call them hoops because they're little hoops.
Well, it's not really flavored powder. Well, I suppose it is to a degree.
Salt.
Or just salt, yeah.
Salt mostly, yeah.
But they're very nice. But I mean, not at all what I was referring to.
Well, when you said hoops, that's exactly what my mind went to, was hoops in the shops.
Well, no, because as far as I'm aware, delightful fried snack treats have not been cancelled. The NBA season has. And March Madness. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, are they playing it just not with an audience?
No, they said it's going to be on TV, but there'll be no audience, which, what's the point?
Went, how are we going to do money?
Yeah, and they went, oh, fucking hell, we can't even do that.
They pushed it back 2 weeks, right?
No, well, last time I heard it was just suspended, but I don't know.
That would be terrible. Well, I guess 2 weeks, but probably 2 weeks isn't enough.
It's kind of fucky for those kids as well, because that's their stage to get into the professional leagues.
Well, also, it's just because it means so much in college pride and the whole life of college basketball and what that means, for the community of the university.
It's actually kind of sad. I mean, I do watch it because I've got a bracket open every year, but the March Madness is kind of sad because the pressure on these kids, you can tell when they miss a couple of shots, they're fucking crestfallen, man, because they're thinking, this was my chance. If I'd done really well on this stage, I could get drafted, and that would like sort them out economically for a long time. But
yeah,
there you go.
Dreams come true and die on the boards.
And on that positive note,
yeah, sorry. I guess we're all a little bit glass half empty.
Just because you're infected, Kristi.
I might be. No, like I said, I don't have a temperature. I could be asymptomatic, in which case I'm just like I'm one of the 75% Merkel talked about. Or it could just be I have a runny nose.
Yeah, that's the thing. Most people who get like sniffles or whatever, you think, well, it's winter. Yeah, you're going to get a cold.
Yeah.
And by the way, this lot of people saying, oh, just wait till the summer, it'll be fine. Australia's got it, right? And it's the summer.
Yeah.
Like Trump. It's not.
Oh, wait till April. It'll be like a miracle. It'll be gone. Idiot.
He's an idiot. By the way, you nailed that impression.
It's time for him to go if I'm starting to nail the impressions.
Yeah.
I actively try to avoid him.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and you should, because he's infected.
Well, he's been exposed.
Oh, and Ted Cruz. We didn't even talk about Ted Cruz.
Exposure and infection are two different things.
Well, no, because he was self-isolating, and I was just thinking...
Trump was? Trump was not self-isolating.
No, Ted fucking Cruz.
Oh, okay,
Jesus.
we were talking about Trump, and you jumped to the swingers
Does
club.
Does coronavirus eat your fucking brain? What?
I think I was reading the chat. I've got sports on in the background.
Penis.
And on that bombshell. Oh, you want to rip on Ted Cruz?
No, I was just going to say it would be funny if Ted Cruz got something. He was just, I want to see like the diary he would keep of his last days in his little cabin in Texas. Oh. And Gates got it, didn't Gatz or whatever the fuck you pronounce it. The prick who went into the Senate chamber or the Congress chamber, whatever.
Gates, yeah, Gates, Matt Gates. Yeah,
Gates. It's spelled weird. It's Gaetz.
Yeah, it's kind of like the German.
He went in there wearing a gas mask to take the piss. and got coronavirus.
Yeah, or was at least exposed. Again, exposure and infection are two different things.
Well, okay, I saw it reported as he got coronavirus, so I mean, I take it that means infection.
Well,
but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, he was exposed to coronavirus at CPAC, and then he was self-isolating. But I don't know that he had a test. Ted Cruz didn't take a test. He just self-isolated for 2 weeks.
Well, Ted Cruz couldn't pass a test.
All right.
And on that bombshell.
Yes, we've had so many bombshells. It's time to go. All right, guys, thank you for joining us in this very last minute nonsense, just rambling.
I was going to do a bit there and just go, oh, it's getting all Dresden up in here. But that would be insensitive to do that.
I'm glad you.
So I don't know why you suggested I do that, Kristi. You're out of order.
Go check out Kevin's history thing. I'm going to do that tonight before I go to bed. And
well, talking about bombshells, I mentioned the Birmingham Blitz. That's a thing that happened.
There you go.
Yeah.
Segue over to the plug. And what's the name of your channel?
It's called History with Kev. It was formerly the Frank Moosington channel. I changed that name though, so it's all good. It was one of my. I've got about half a dozen backup burner channels with all my old videos and shit on them, and like little clips and stuff that I want to keep and save because I know they're going to get taken down and I might want to use them at some point. So I've got them, and they're called all kinds of weird shit. Frank Moosington.
I didn't know, but you really came in hard on the moose. It was actually part of the reason I died was the way that you went in for the Moosington.
Moosington. Frank Moosington.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, but that channel's dead now because it's called History with Kev.
Well, search for it in the search bar on YouTube, which is where you are right now, so it should be really easy for you to figure out. And I think we'll see you guys later.
If you're too stupid to, then you don't deserve to watch my videos. Simple.
Or no, if you want to put a link in the comment, but I can't be bothered with changing the description anymore.
You lazy fuck.
Yep.
You don't watch the video. You can't be bothered putting a link under the video. You just disgraceful. That is the last time I come into your live chat and press penis.
Oh no! Everyone else is gonna have to give me your penises because Kev won't give me his anymore.
Oh God, it's the cock genocide again. Oh.
Yes, eat a dick. All right, well, thanks to the chat for showing up and having a lively debate. And thanks to my co-host for, at the end, making me cry till I laughed because that has to happen at least once in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so goodbye from me and goodbye from Kev. Say goodbye, Kev.
Goodbye, Kev.
Woohoo, he did the bit.
I did.